Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 53 of the Nice and Soft Home Games podcast. My name is Joseph, and this is Yazeed.
Hello.
And today we are talking about SSL and probably some other things. I can't read these notes. Are there other things we're talking about?
Yeah, I'm just gonna basically I liked your PR. I didn't get a chance to approve it because I actually forgot how long it takes to get here.
Did I put up a PR?
Your PR from like 41 days ago.
Okay, yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. And then my modal PR is also ready to go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be for home game stuff, which we'll talk about later. But first, what is up, Yazeed?
I mean, as is, I think, tradition, honestly, at this point, I have two dog stories to tell.
Great.
So, first of all, dog is doing good. Sapphire is doing good. She's in advanced obedience school.
Mm-hmm.
And we were supposed to learn what's called Supervised Separation, which is basically you give your dog's leash to a stranger, or in this case, the instructor of the class, and you ask your dog to like hang out with them, and you leave the room for a little bit, and you come back, basically saying like your dog can be without you. My dog cannot be without me, it turns out, and she slipped her collar in a room full of 4 other dogs and 4 other people, or 5 other people because of the instructor, and ran so hard into the dividing door and wouldn't get off the dividing door. So I couldn't open the door. She was panicking and couldn't get over the door either. So I had to like pick her up and lift her up and over the door. But she weighs 70 pounds. Mm-hmm. So it's not easy to lift her like that. Because I'm lifting her like you would lift like a young child, like under the armpit up and over this door. And her center of gravity is not the same spot as a young child.
Mm-hmm.
And then yesterday, actually, she was supposed to go for a vet checkup, just for like a regular physical and stuff, because I haven't got her a physical since I got her. And the vet assistant kind of met me at the front door, and I handed her the leash, and I told Sapphire, like, I'll be right here. You're going to go in with her. And Sapphire freaked out, slipped her harness, which I didn't think was possible, and attempted to run away, which would have been directly into traffic. So I had to tackle her. Full on, like, full extension tackle. And I ended up removing quite a bit of the skin on both of my knees and one of my elbows. And now bending or straightening any of my joints hurts. But she didn't run into traffic. And she was too panicky, and the vet recommended we let her chill out a bit and we try again later.
What do you think the solution is? Because it seems like she's going to kill you if you give her enough time.
Give it enough time, she should mellow out. Right?
I don't know.
Give it enough time, I should be able to solve all of the problems that she has and make her into just, constant practice, just, rewarding good behavior, dissuading her from doing the behavior I don't want.
Has she gotten better in the 6 months that you've had her?
I mean, in some regards, yes. In some regards, no. In terms of like predatoriness, no. She's always been this predatory since I got her, basically. Like I don't know if it's a thing about her breed or what exactly, but like when she sees another animal that moves that isn't tied to another human, she's immediately like, this is for food and I will hunt it for you, Captain. And then she wants to go after it. And it's really hard to get her to not do that. But when I first got her, she was very skittish around like cars and people and loud noises. Like basically like she was just so panicky. And I think now she's like really mellowed out in a lot of those ways. Like she can get into a car. When I first got her, she wouldn't get into the car. And I couldn't pick her up because she was too wiggly. I'd actually go back into the adoption place and ask them to help me get her into the car. And now she's like chill. She can get into cars and stuff like that. I don't know. I think it's just going to take time. I've only had her for like 6-7 months.
Well, if we keep recording these at my house, you'll have to be away from her for like 3 hours a week, which is apparently a record for you.
Yeah, she's only been alone for 2 hours at most.
That's wild to me.
I mean, it's not like I can go anywhere right now, so.
Yeah, but like, you haven't been anywhere for more than 2 hours. It just seems wild. Like in 7 months, 6 months.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But that's not, I've never been anywhere without her. I've never been to a place that she couldn't go, or I wasn't willing to take her for more than 2 hours. I've been to places longer than 2 hours. She just came with me. Like I go to visit my mom, and I'm there for quite a while. But she's also visiting my mom. Or when we went to the lake, she went with me to the lake, for example.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, you haven't lived your life without your dog in 6 months.
Yeah. She's definitely come to dominate.
Yeah,
a lot of my life.
She's like the topic of conversation every week. You know?
Yeah, I mean, she also does ridiculous stuff like almost kill me on a regular basis. So, you know.
Well, I don't have any kind of...
Oh, wait. I have one more part on this story to tell. I forgot to mention this to you earlier, too.
Sure.
Because I was literally bleeding in a vet office, they were like, oh, okay. So they left. One of the vet assistants left, and she came back, and she's like, here's antibacterial wipes. We use them on dogs before surgery. Yeah. And so I just rubbed this, and it hurt so bad because it's not like... It's like medical grade surgical equipment. It's like you should be like knocked out when they're doing this to you, and it stung. And
isn't it just like an alcohol wipe?
Basically, yeah.
That's not that crazy. That's like
I don't think it is an alcohol wipe because alcohol denatures the proteins in your skin and breaks those down, and they don't want to do that during surgery. So I don't actually know what it is, but it's antimicrobial, and it hurt quite a bit to put it directly onto all the cuts that I had on me.
Nice.
They asked me if I played football, and I wanted it at that point, been like, look at me. Do I look like I played football? I'm like 3 inches deep at my deepest. Like, no, I don't play football.
Yeah. You could if you just like decided to get swole.
I don't think I can. I don't put on weight super easily.
You don't put on what?
I don't put on weight super easily.
I don't know, man. You just start putting away like donuts.
I mean, you remember when I was eating like a whole cheesecake or whatever a day or whatever.
Yeah, Yazeed has this thing where he can literally eat as much as he wants, and he will always be this. Yeah. It's kind of impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but yeah, they were super nice to me, and my dog was panicky. Nice. But it's nice to know that she loves me and trusts me that much that she's willing to get away from an actual dog expert to go hang out with me.
I mean, it's not like she knows as a dog expert.
No, to her it's just a stranger, but to me it's like, aw,
yeah, she
loves me.
Yeah.
But it's a failure on my part for being like, she can't be without me for very long.
Well, I don't have any near-death experiences for this week. Really don't have much that I experienced besides went to my first wedding last Sunday, which was kind of an experience. Wasn't sure what to expect because Synovia and I have been planning our wedding, and so she tells me words like reception, and I'm just like, yeah, I know what that is.
Yeah, well, you signed in.
Yeah. So I don't know. It was nice. I was a groomsman, so I was at a wedding place for like 9 hours, and that was exhausting. And then I took the day off work the next day because I was deceased. No, I don't know. It was nice just getting an idea of what I want for our wedding and kind of what to expect out of stuff like that. We went to go look at a venue today, and they told us how much money we would have to put down 5 months in advance, and I was like, oh, okay. Just wasn't expecting what they told me, you know. But you know, you live and you learn, like they say. So I have an understanding of how much that wedding will fuck us, but it'll be cool.
Somebody said that like a wedding is the most expensive party you'll ever throw, that you won't even get to enjoy.
I've heard that too. I think based on the wedding that I saw on Sunday, I think I would actually experience more of it than I had previously thought I would. Like they were around. The couple was like around talking to people. Like, yeah, they were busy doing a bunch of shit the whole time because they had to manage everybody. Be like, hey, how you doing? You know, you have a whole conversation with everybody to make them like know that you appreciate them. But I feel like I would experience at least part of my wedding, you know. It'd be all right. I have a friend who is from India, and he described his wedding like his Indian wedding to me, and he has pictures of it, and they all wore like traditional, all that kind of shit, and it was so cool, so crazy. But he told me like how much his wedding cost, and because it's like a thing, whatever, right? Like
okay.
whatever. I don't know. It's like whatever. And I just I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how people do that kind of shit. Like that much money for one night of your life. But I don't know. It's fun to think about. It's fun to plan a wedding. It's fun to think about the day after that and just like finally having all this stuff done with.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was pretty much my week. Was planning wedding and playing some games.
Nice.
I played more Insurgency. I think I'm getting better at Insurgency.
Is it the racism?
Yeah, I'm getting better at being racist too. I'm learning new words and shit. It's all good. No, I think I'm playing Insurgency because I get this. It's like a hesitation to pick another game.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's like I could go back to Dragon Ball Z because I'm 5 hours into that. It's like a 40-hour game. I didn't love it, but I can go back to it, or I can start on, literally any other game that I have. But instead of picking a new game and choosing to invest time, I will just choose to invest 30-minute to 45-minute chunks of my time into Insurgency and actually get nowhere in any of like my progress with games.
Yeah, don't get into League because that's the dark road as well for that same problem.
Yeah, I don't like League of Legends, so I think I'm good there.
Nice.
Yeah.
If you want to try a different game, my Minecraft server is up. We actually recently decided to plot off. Everyone got a 15 by 15 plot of land to build their own house, which made me an HOA suddenly.
What are your HOA rules?
You can't burn down other people's houses, whether on purpose or on accident.
I feel like that's just rules. HOA rules are like authoritarian bullshit telling you how to.
Yeah, that's what I told them. You can't. I'm not. Listen, I'm not an HOA, is what I told them. But JC also was like, "What do I put lava around my house?" And I was like, "No, you'll burn down every other house around you." And he was like, "What do I put lava inside my house?" And I said, "That's fine as long as it doesn't burn down every other house around you."
Yeah, I don't know. I think playing Minecraft is one of these things where, like, I guess I'm trying to avoid multiplayer games.
Yeah.
Because there's no end. I'm trying, I guess, kind of like how we were talking about, needing to accomplish something physically and like exerting yourself before we started recording this actual episode.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to accomplish something, but nothing on the realm of like physical space. I don't need to hike or climb a mountain or some shit. I mean, that stuff is nice, but I'm just trying to complete something.
Yeah.
And I can never complete multiplayer games. I can complete the story mode of Outer Worlds, for example. Mm-hmm. But I can't just keep playing Insurgency until I'm like the best in the world. That'll never happen. And I can acknowledge that. I'm like you in League. You think that somehow you'll get good.
Yeah.
You won't.
I know. I know. Listen, I know. And yet somewhere deep down, me saying I know I won't get good is that little part of me is like, but you're secretly Challenger. You're secretly the best player in North America. You just have shitty teammates. And you just got to try harder.
Yeah.
Play more games. That's how you get better. And I'm just like, oh, God.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll report back. I want to play the Outer Worlds. I saw a thing. I guess it's available on Steam now, which I didn't even realize it wasn't before. But it was only an Epic Game Store. Also, Epic Game Store has been giving crazy games for free.
Yeah.
Like games that cost money. Mm-hmm. Not just like shitty Humble Bundle type games. Not that Humble Bundle shitty. It's just they're typically low value.
Sometimes they are, yeah. Sometimes it's like a banger Humble Bundle.
Yeah. But a lot of the time it's like...
Here's like 15 games that a lot of people probably don't play very often, except for like Steve from down the hall.
Right. It's like, oh, sick. I got all 5 episodes of Wallace and Gromit. It's like, cool. You're never going to play that shit. You never wanted these.
No.
No, what was I going to say? Something.
Outer Worlds?
Oh, no, Epic Game Store. Their stuff is free. So, one of the games that they have for free right now is Costume Quest 2. You ever played Costume Quest?
I've never heard of it.
It's made, the first one at least, was made by Double Fine, who's people who made Psychonauts and Brutal Legend and a bunch of other, that kind of stuff. I really liked the first Costume Quest. I feel like that's a game I can play with Synovia because it's essentially, it's turn-based combat, like Pokemon style. Mm-hmm. You walk around, you're dressed up in your little kid costumes, but because you're little kids, you see every costume is like the real version of it, like real dragons, real knights, and shit like that. It's really cute. It's just a cute, simple, turn-based thing, and the whole thing is you're just these 2 kids on Halloween. So, Costume Quest 2 is the current one of the current free games on Epic Game Store, and I kind of wanted to get into this Halloween game vibe. Like I wanted to play horror games, and I wanted to get into the Spooktober.
Yeah.
But I started thinking about Halloween games, and if I could even name any besides Costume Quest.
Plasmophobia.
Is that a Halloween game or just a spooky game?
It's a spooky game.
Yeah, but I mean like a Halloween game. There's some other game I saw on Steam where you play. It's like a third-person action game. Kind of looked like Medieval, but you play as like a Jack Skellington-looking motherfucker. But it looks like a Halloween game. It's like some action, whatever thing.
Honestly, I don't know very many Halloween games. I don't really do Halloween very much.
I just feel like it's an utilized theme. I think Halloween. There's so many Halloween movies, and kind of specific things that work around Halloween, outside of just horror movies. Something like Insidious, for example, is a horror movie, but it's not Halloweeny.
Yeah.
Halloween is Halloweeny.
Yeah, Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, Hocus Pocus. Halloween Town. I love Halloween Town. I don't know. I just feel like there should be more Halloween games, you know? Because it's such a cool thing to kind of... Yeah, there's so much you can do with Halloween. I don't know.
You can save Halloween.
Yeah. What's your Halloween game design, Doc?
Okay, here's my idea.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. The powers of Christmas
Okay.
are trying to take over October, and the people of Halloweensville have to battle Santa Claus's Christmas army.
Okay.
And at the end of it, you have to spook the big Claus himself.
So it's like a stealth game?
No, I mean you could play it stealth. You could play it it's an open world RPG set in this war between Halloween and Christmas, and you have this side quest where you can choose to either help Thanksgiving survive in the middle, or sacrifice it and eat all of the turkeys. For like a brief power up, or like save Thanksgiving, and later on the turkeys come and help you fight Santa Claus.
Okay. Can I do a no-kill run if I wanted to?
Yeah, you can do a no-kill run.
Great. What's the moral? Like, what's the ultimate
The moral
goal?
is that Christmas is slowly creeping deeper and deeper into our year, and the only thing holding it back is Halloween in terms of decoration. Because I'm no joke, went to the store the other day and there's already Christmas decorations and Halloween decorations side by side, and I was like, this is incredible.
So Novi was telling me, because there's a home goods, not a home goods, but they sell home products.
Yeah.
And she went there like 3 weeks ago. Also, I didn't mention the date. Today is October 24th, 2020. So she went there like 2 weeks ago, early October, looking for Halloween stuff specifically to decorate the house. And at that point already, they had gotten rid of all their Halloween shit and replaced it with all Christmas.
Yeah.
I get having Christmas stuff in Halloween, but taking out Halloween in early October, being like, nah, you're too late. That shit was in July, you know?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, right? So my game would be kind of like a thank you to Halloween. Yeah, and a social commentary
real
on how powerful Christmas is and how Halloween must be strengthened further.
Trying to take down Big Claus.
Yeah, you gotta spook him.
Yeah,
and you don't kill elves or anything like that. You scare them.
Okay.
So you have to have like you get like power ups, and like as you move through, you can. It's like Saints Row, where you could like get other costumes, like different stuff, and it would raise your rep or whatever. Your different costume pieces raise your spookiness.
Okay.
And at SPOOKY, you're like full spooky, and you can combat Claus himself.
You combat him, you don't spook him, or do you scare him with your combat?
You scare him in the combat. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. This reminds me, or this sounds like potentially like Sneak King. You ever Sneak King?
No.
Remember when Burger King sold video games?
Yes.
Yeah, there was 3 of them. There was Pocket Bike Racers, Sneak King, and Big Bumpin'. Big Bumpin' was a bumper car game. Sneak King was a stealth action Metal Gear Solid type thing, and Pocket Bike Racers was like a dirt bike racing game. Right?
Yeah.
So, fun fact: my mom bought me Big Bumpin' and Sneak King, but when she went to the drive-thru and asked the man for the meal, whatever that you had to, she misread the title. She's like, "Yeah, let me get that Big Pimpin'," and that was my mom asking for a video game. She legitimately thought Burger King was selling a video game called Big Pimpin', which I would like to see that. No, but
wait long enough and Wendy's will.
Oh god, seriously, They already have the whatever. Fuck them. Sneak King is Metal Gear Solid, and you go around in like trash cans waiting with burgers, and you like scare construction workers with your burger, and then they get super hyped because after being terrified of the man in the king mask, they're just like, oh shit, a fucking egg sandwich.
Yeah.
I kind of imagine.
Yeah, I think it would be kind of like that.
Yeah.
Maybe it is a stealth action RPG. We gotta like sneak past elves and reindeer and Mrs. Claus to get to Claus himself. A little side quest to like spook the elves that are harassing the turkeys of Thanksgiving's land.
I like it. We should make this in home games.
We could. It would take me so many years to write this story.
I don't know. I feel like, how's your novel going, by the way?
It's good. I have most of the early chapters pretty ironed out in terms of kind of like what I want them to be about.
Nice. I feel like there's something about, because if you were writing the story for this Halloween thing, legitimately, I feel like giving yourself a weekend to finish it would kind of force you to just get it done, you know? Instead of you trying to over complexify it, you're just like, let me add a little bit of commentary on the church, you know?
That's actually, I could probably iron out most of the story for it pretty quick. I mean, how long do you want this game to be?
It's got to be at least 80 hours.
Right. So do you want side quests? Or?
You need side quests. You need collectibles.
Collectibles?
I need achievements. I need leaderboards. What's the multiplayer like? Got to get those microtransactions. Mm-hmm. Got to keep stacking up after we made the initial sale, you know?
Yeah.
So we need this by next month to monetize home games, because I'm going to tell you a little bit later, but we're going to have a cost of things.
Okay. Yeah. So Pumpkin is the leader of the Halloween forces.
Okay.
And he is Santa Claus's stepbrother.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's kind of okay. Yeah,
it's like a family feud type thing. And Santa Claus, I mean, everyone thinks Santa Claus is just some like well, I don't know, like a jolly old man or whatever. Mm-hmm. And in reality, he's a bitter man who wants more of the year devoted to him, to worship of old Saint Nick. And only Pumpkin sees that, and so Pumpkin is his great rival.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can also add in stuff. I mean, I guess this is a scope creep, but does he ever fight like Valentine's Day, or is that a sequel when he's trying to take over the next year?
I mean, what's another big holiday that like decorations? I guess it would be Valentine's Day.
People kind of decorate for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I guess Valentine's Day is the only other major holiday.
Easter?
Oh shoot, Easter. Is Easter before or after Halloween?
Before. It's in April, May-ish. Okay.
I think Easter versus Valentine's Day would be another good one. We have Easter trying to defend against Valentine's Day instead. Or we just go with the same exact plot. We have Easter trying to creep into Valentine's Day's turf.
Okay, well, I was thinking in the first one, Halloween would fight back against Christmas, right? Mm-hmm. But then kind of the nature of man is that...
Oh, I see.
He will become what he swore to defeat. Oh, I see. Halloween now tries to take over.
Yeah.
He gets greedy, you see? So then you have some Pumpkin versus Cupid versus Easter Bunny and Jesus, you know? You have all these kinds of things coming together.
Okay.
You can really say something with this.
We could, yeah. We could make that the sequel. Let's iron out the details on the first game first, then we can go from there. I unironically kind of think that would be a fun game to make.
Yeah.
I don't know what to play, but I would enjoy making it. The amount of stupid, awful puns I would stuff into that game.
Pumpkin is a winner already.
Oh, so. Yeah, Pumpkin. I mean, that's just straight out of Yu-Gi-Oh! So I can't take full credit.
Yeah.
He was a card that buffed, I think, all other undead creatures.
I like that you remember the specifics of what the cards did. We always just were like, yeah, mine's cooler, so fuck you.
I don't remember exactly what he did. I think he just made other cards stronger, but I'm not sure.
I was going to mention, speaking of writing stories for games, I was in a really, really dark place at my job in like 2014 or so. Mm-hmm. And I decided, because I was basically sitting around doing nothing for the entirety of my time in this job. I was like an office assistant. And decided to write the story for a text-based adventure, and it started off with a dude going to his like cousin's birthday party at a Chuck E. Cheese, and he had the gift ready to go, but he like couldn't force himself to get out of the car. So your first choice was like you could just say drive home, or like go into the party, and it was just like this. I was in like a real bad place, and I was just like trying to withdraw from society. So I was trying to make a text-based adventure where you could like you could choose to withdraw from everything that you're supposed to be doing. You know, it was dark, but I want to kind of revamp that for home games. We should be able to make text-based adventures. Once you get fastest typer in the West, all that typing interaction down. I couldn't make
fastest typer in the West, which is stuck in hell behind the modal, which is blocking the pop-ups for public keys for the tweeting game. Which is all blocking my what's the current game I'm working on? Color tag game.
You're still working on that?
Well, no, I have to finish the modal and then I can make color tag.
Right.
Because you don't know if you're the tagger or the taggee yet. That's really, I need to make the modal and then I need to do terrain generation. That game is done. Also vision, which is what I wanted to implement.
Okay. I forget specifically where you're at on that actual, on what you're trying to do there, but.
Those are the three.
Yeah. We'll have specifics of that when you actually kind of, I don't know. When we have one thing done, we could talk about why we did everything to get this one thing done.
Yeah. Once I have modals done, then the next thing is I want to do the secrets stuff. So that's in the system. And then I can do color tag, then the Twitter game, and then the fastest typer in the West.
I see. This is kind of where I think my workboard project would come in, because I think it's nice to have a visual representation of kind of like the dependency chain of what we're talking about home game stuff now, by the way. I wanted to work on that simple thing where it was just, what am I working on? How much time is left on it? So having this kind of clear thing of, well, Yazeed's working on this game and this and this and this. All these things are related to this, and you can just kind of like link to a GitHub issue from within it. I feel like that is a good way to know what the hell's going on. Because like you're telling me what's going on, I don't even fucking know. I mean, like I do this with you. I don't know what you're talking about. You know what I mean?
I have it all. I actually I really do have it in a VS Code window. It just never closes.
Nice. I started using VS Code, by the way, because I started a Rails project recently at work, and that's just like the IDE that we use, and I like it quite a bit. It's got a nice look to it, you know.
Yeah.
That's all I really care about, is if it has a dark mode.
I really do like VS Code. It's the first text editor after Notepad++ that I've used, and I really have enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think I will always prefer Vim, just because it makes me feel good, you know?
Vim makes you feel like you're really smart until somebody watches you, and then you're like, oh, how do I do this again?
Yeah, that's true. Especially someone who knows Vim. Someone who doesn't know Vim, you could. It's like, yeah, it's slower on purpose. But someone who does know Vim, they're just like, you're doing that wrong. No matter what it is, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, your config's not right.
Yeah. I was gonna say something else. Workboard. Anyway, do you have any like specific home game stuff for this week?
I mean, no. Most of my prep was for something that ended up having to fall through for this week, but the modal stuff is ready to go, and Joseph's PR I think is good to go. I just ran out of time because I forgot what time I needed to leave to get here.
Can you refresh people on what modal stuff is?
Yeah, so the modal stuff is, we wanted to make a function that generates the modal for you, so that all modals have kind of like this, a similar look and feel and a similar functionality, and also just trying to streamline it, because currently to make a modal is not easy, because you have to make like a game node and like stick in the right spot and everything. So in the way this one works is it takes in a couple arguments. It takes in the title, it takes in the color of the title, it takes in the on close function, so what you want to have when it closes, and lastly it takes in a game node, which contains, you know, like the content piece of the modal. So, and I think that covers like all the use cases I could think of for a modal. And then the size / location of the modal, but that all those have default arguments except for the body of the modal. And what that returns out is the modal itself, the text, the modal itself, the title, the modal body, the close button, and that's it. So in theory, you should be. I think this function will handle like all of the cases, at least I could think of, and handle it pretty okay.
So the reasoning we want to do that is because in your Twitter game, you need to have a secret defined in the actual package of code somewhere, some configuration that says this is how my account can access Twitter. These are the keys that I can access Twitter with. And you want to be able to display in a convenient way, kind of a standard way, a message on the screen saying you don't have this specified thing that your game says that you need. You reference secrets.api key. We don't have secrets.api key.
Yeah, so it's for that and also for color tag, right? So like color tag kind of came out of Among Us, or Among Us as I like to call it, where it tells you like you're the imposter, you're not the imposter. I think you probably want to know if you're the tagger or the taggee.
But in Among Us, you don't get a modal, you get a pre-game.
Yeah, but there's no pre-game view in this. I want it to just be like a pop-up that says like you are tagging or you are not being tagged.
I guess just to be an asshole, couldn't you put that just in the corner of the screen all the time?
I thought about doing that, but I didn't like that. Because I wanted to do vision, and I wanted to block out vision outside of a 5x5 grid. So I wanted everything else to just be black outside of there.
Including the UI?
Well, I mean, the home games button and stuff will still be there. But I wanted you to be like, feel a little bit. I want you to feel isolation when you play that game, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess I'm just asking, like, if there's text in a user interface, would that be not visible by light either?
I mean, I'm gonna avoid adding just text like that, so there wouldn't be any.
Yeah.
But if like home games had like an enforced text for some reason, then it would show. I wouldn't like purposely remove text if it was there, but I'm not gonna add text.
Yeah, I'm just asking. Just if you wanted to make it easy to show something, if you are or you are not, you could put that in your UI.
Yeah. So what I'm telling people is only if they are or aren't the tagger, and so you don't know who is or isn't the tagger, right? So you want to move around, but you don't want to move around too much because you might get found.
Yeah.
So then if you get found, but you could get found by a not tagger. Or you could get found by the tagger, or you could get found by somebody the tagger has tagged, and now you're going to get tagged by that person.
Yeah. Did I also mention on this thing that I played Among Us?
You told me, and I think it was on the pre-show last time.
No one watches those. Okay, well, anyway, I love Among Us. I think it's really great. I think playing with people, even that you don't know, is really great. The game is very smart.
Yes.
And I like it quite a bit. I don't know. But that's cool. I didn't realize that's kind of the inspiration for color tag that you were going with.
Yeah, I didn't want it to be like you took players out of the game. I wanted it to be like you just bring more people onto your side. Really what it was like a mix between Among Us and Infection from Halo, but I didn't want to call it Infection because, the times.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, real quick side note, playing The Last of Us was funny because that game is set in Seattle. It's actually really impressive how accurate it is, the whole thing of Seattle. But it came out in like June, which was pretty peak, especially here, of the coronavirus numbers. And the things that are in that game, and especially because Seattle had the early spike or whatever, that's why we left early from there. Anyway, this whole thing. But just seeing like a version of Seattle that is ripped apart by this infectious virus, and seeing all of this these like notes of people being like, well, I think they're okay, they're not really showing any symptoms or whatever, and then they're all dead or whatever. Just like, fuck, the timing of this is so, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's weird, but yeah, I don't know. Infection is still called Infection in Halo,
Yeah, I mean, also I didn't want to call it the same thing because I don't know if they've copyrighted that as like game mode.
I don't know how that works because like something like Gun Game from Counter-Strike, Call of Duty literally calls it Gun Game.
Yeah,
I don't know how that works. Also, who would sue us? We don't have any revenue.
I don't know. I just didn't want to steal the exact thing.
Fuck it, man. I'm making Halo.
Hell yeah.
Halo 6 coming out on home games exclusively.
Halo Finite. There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, so and then also we actually do already have a modal. Right now when you go to create a new game, when you click on a game, there is a modal that pops up. So what I'm really working on right now is what I was working on this past week was converting that into using my modal stuff and realizing like where the edge cases were. And I think I've addressed all of those over this week. So
nice.
I think it's good to go.
when you put up that PR, I'm just gonna rip it to shreds.
I hope so. I hope to learn.
I'm just gonna tell you you're terrible. I'm gonna be like a League of Legends player.
No, unless you write like, I hope you get cancer, uninstall, die. Like, I don't think you'll actually be the League of Legends people.
Yeah,
those are all things that have actually been sent to me in the last month.
I believe it. Cool. Well, I look forward to your pull request on that. I like being critical of other people's code. It makes me feel better about myself.
What about you, bud?
So if people watched last week, the big takeaway was that a very important thing for me to figure out is getting SSL working, to have HTTPS working on your local home games instance. The reasoning for that is because there are seemingly fewer features available to you within the browser as time goes on. A few months ago, it was, we can't get webcam access or microphone access, and that's mostly okay without HTTPS. We don't really need that stuff right now. It'd be cool to make a walkie-talkie proof of concept app. It'd be cool to make a, video something aspect thing to a proof of concept game, but we don't need to do that right now. I'm working on the guts. But when I came to the realization that I needed SSL now for the gamepad API, at least in Firefox, I realized we are moving further away from a world where SSL not being available is okay. Mm-hmm. So realizing that doesn't really matter what I do if at some point home games as a concept doesn't work if we don't have SSL available. And another big kind of blocker for us is that we have a budget of pretty much zero, or trying to keep it as low as possible when doing anything on this. So anyway, kind of context aside, my week was spent, by that I mean my past 2 days was spent figuring out how to do this, if it's possible, how to whatever. And I want to kind of take back something I said last week. Last week I said that there was that Plex article about how they got SSL working on all of their individual stuff. For people unfamiliar with Plex, you have movies, TV, music, and whatever running on your computer. It is on your hard drive. You download, you manage it yourself. But Plex makes essentially your media server available to everybody on your local network as well as the public internet. So I can actually share my server with someone remotely, like someone like Yazeed, just give him a username and he can watch my movies like Netflix style from my computer, as long as my computer's on. Which, if you think about it, is exactly what I think home games should do. Mm-hmm. It's this, but it's making games in JavaScript that work in a browser or on a whatever. And it's not a personal media library. And so they have a article where they kind of outline, it's an outline, how they got this stuff working, because you need SSL certificates to like stream video in browsers and stuff like that. And there's one section kind of telling you how they did it. It's not super technical, but they tell you how they did it. So I essentially followed that and tried to just get a very basic proof of concept. Plex, it's all automated and all really nice and easy for people to download and install. They don't even have to worry about SSL certs. They just have them. So I just wanted to see if I could get something working. And the something was connect to a local instance running home games, something on my local network, and have a valid SSL cert for that thing. And I did it.
Ooh.
I have it working. So it's hard-coded as shit. Mm-hmm. It's probably not secure or good. But, okay, so I have notes here because I had to remember what the fuck I did. So I don't know anything about SSL certs. I don't know anything about security. I don't know anything about certificate authorities. I don't know anything about much, So in the Plex thing, they said we had to generate a wildcard certificate. And apparently what that is you have a certificate for something like, homegames.io. We have an SSL certificate that some authority said or says is a valid thing that represents, the people who you're talking to, homegames.io, are really homegames.io. This certificate proves that because they have the certificate when they talk to the browser. And a wildcard certificate allows you to have something like an asterisk and say, subdomain.homegames.io, Yazeed.homegames.io. As long as I can use this certificate and anything that matches this wildcard matching thing, I can use this as a valid certificate. Mm-hmm. So the way that Plex did it is they have it's IP, like 1.2.3.4, for example, dot hash, and this so everybody on Plex has a user account, so they can generate a unique hash per account. So I log in with my thing, I have a reproducible thing that's associated and unique to just my username, to my account. So I have a certificate generated by Plex for 1234 dot my user hash dot direct dot plex dot tv, right? And the way that they do it on there is because IP addresses change and stuff like that. I 1.2.3.4 dot whatever will resolve to the IP 1.2.3.4.
No.
So okay, I don't know how things work. I just know basically that user hash is what allows it to be only really available and valuable to you, the individual user who has this Plex account. And the magic of I go to some IP address dot user hash dot plex dot tv whatever, and it takes me to IP address, and that just works, and the SSL just works for that whole thing. I have a certificate for this domain, and it just works. So I tried to do this with my stuff. So instead of actually getting the IP address from whatever the URL is and redirecting to that kind of stuff, I just generated 1234.josephtest.homegames.link. Right? Joseph test in this case would be the user hash, but it's not a hash; it's just a hard coded whatever. And 1234 would be the IP, but I have it hard coded right now to just be that. So I generated this certificate on homegames.link. I had a DNS challenge or whatever. So like when you're generating the certificate, it asks you to create a DNS text record. We use Amazon Route 53 for all of our domain stuff. So I can create a DNS record in Route 53 that just has text available here. So some robot goes and checks this thing, and it's some specific type of DNS record that says this value. And then the robot says, okay, that's exactly what I thought it would be. You really do have control over this domain. So I did that, got a certificate. And then I created a DNS record for 1234.josephtest.homegames.link, and the value there was in the IP address of my local server. So the public IP of my home games instance is the value for the DNS record of 1234.josephtest.homegames.link. So then the weird part, the probably not secure part, is that I had to take the private key and certificate generated by Certbot when I was creating my SSL certificate and give it to the user, right? So in this case, it's like, I am homegames.link, I'm the service. Someone connects to homegames.link. I need to give them the .pem files, the secret, whatever. And they mentioned in the blog, like, this is fine because the user hash makes it safe. I don't know. I have to look into things, right?
Yeah.
But I just got this working. I was like, okay, well, whatever. I'm me, so I'm just gonna do cat, like, put the text of the files out while I'm SSHing into the thing, copy them and paste them into files on my local machine, and reference them in the like test app that I have running HTTPS, an HTTPS node server. And I did that. I also had to set up port forwarding on my router, which is something that you have to do for Plex also, just to have the HTTPS port available for your internal machine running whatever your stuff on your basically, so your computer can be publicly accessible on the public internet. Someone can go to your IP at this port and talk to your server. So I got that working. Anyway, end result was I went to 1234.josephtest.homegames.link, and I was redirected to the local IP address of my thing here. Or sorry, no, I wasn't redirected. I just had a DNS record for it. So I went to this and it took me here. I don't know what that worked, what the word means. Anyway, I don't know anything. I just want to reiterate that. Just really don't know anything. And yeah, I have a valid HTTPS connection to my local instance. Hey. So all I have to figure out is make sure all that is safe and all of it is automatable and do that, which sounds like a fucking lot. I realistically will spend the rest of this year doing that. But if I can do that, then 2021 will be a really cool year for us because we will be able to actually kind of run with things instead of being limited by things.
So does that mean that if we need to have a user hash, does that mean we need to store user information?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know how I want to do that because I think realistically we need someone to say, I am me, with an email address or a name or something, and have only them be able to access their thing of me that they created, which is very much a user account and password. And so I imagine we can use some sort of AWS service to store password hashes, and you can use Cognito to manage stuff like that, make user pools and have accounts and stuff like that. And that's possible. I just guess I would rather not, but I see how it could be a thing, and I guess that's a kind of a concession. What's the word? Kind of a hit I'm willing to take and say, okay, people have to make user accounts and then make it clear this is why. We don't give a shit about your email address. We're not going to do anything with it. We literally just need a way to say you are you.
Yeah.
Incognito does the whole like verification stuff too. I think they can send you verification emails and stuff. It's all free. Well, not free, but like
It's all handled.
Handled, yeah. It's not free, I guess is my point. So creating DNS records in Route 53 and having Cognito records is another added cost. So like our AWS bill will go up. Mm-hmm. The nice thing is that the cost is proportionate to users. So very much close to zero. And I think I would hope by the time the cost of our AWS infrastructure, if it ever does become a problem, we would be in a position to be like, somehow we can make money from this.
Yeah.
Whether it's slinging Dollar Shave Club on our podcast, which I don't want to do, but something to keep the infrastructure bill paid.
It's not Raid Shadow Legends anymore.
Is that it? Yeah.
It's Genshin Impact.
I haven't seen that one. I haven't heard that one yet.
I only know that one because of the VTubers.
Oh, Jesus. You're deep on the VTube game.
I'm not. I just had somebody explain VTubers here for 4.5 hours.
Check out the Home Games pre-show if you want to hear us talk about VTubers. We just talked for like an hour about that. But yeah, anyway, I guess that's my thing. I think it's possible to do what we want to be doing. I think I got it working. And I also tested it for multiple devices in the house, and it worked. SSL worked still. So that was good news. There's a hurdle here of making sure this is the right way to do it and making sure that we can do it, you know. But if we did, I think it'd be really fucking cool.
That's really impressive.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I think also making it like a general thing. I don't know how common of a use case this is of like, I want to have SSL available for things running on a local network accessible by the local network without having to be your own certificate authority and having people install weird certs on their machines. But if we can make it valuable for people, I think that would be really cool. We can do kind of a more in-depth tech blog, kind of like the Plex thing, you know, but more technical, how we automated it. Here's a link to us automating it. Like, here's the GitHub stuff. Because I think it might be valuable to people. I don't actually know. But my last note here is works. Holy shit, because that was the feeling.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
I imagine that when all of it is in place and no one cares about it but us,
yeah,
suddenly, eventually, somebody will run into this problem and they'll run into one of our pieces of content and they'll be like, what?
Yeah.
Some losers made this? And they'll be like, oh, these losers are funny. And then we're in the door.
Yeah. And then we can sell them Dollar Shave Club.
That's right. To that one person every time.
Yeah.
We'll get first name basis with them. They'll be on the podcast as our only listener, but then they'll listen to that podcast. It'll be amazing.
Yeah. That and Ridge wallets. You got to hit them with the Ridge wallet. You never seen a Ridge wallet ad?
No.
That's the crazy thing about like YouTube bubbles. I was talking to someone recently who you definitely know, and I was like, yeah, on the Joe Rogan podcast. She's like, who the fuck is Joe Rogan? It's like, I just taking it back. There are people like internet bubbles are so intense.
Yeah.
Not only do they exist, they've existed, but they're so intense that you can have no clue who like the world's most famous podcaster is.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. I just thought that was amazing.
That is actually kind of crazy.
Yeah. Also, in that conversation, there was a joke because she had to look up who Joe Rogan was, and she saw pictures of him on Fear Factor, and she's like, "Oh, he had hair then." I was like, "No, that's Joe Rogan."
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Only 2 people heard that joke when I said it, so I had to kind of bring it back. You know.
That's a really good joke.
All my jokes are really good.
I don't want to really a lot. That's probably the only time you could actually bring that joke out.
Yeah.
Because that's like situational.
Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with it.
Did they know what Rogaine was?
Yeah. She was laughing. She thought it was hilarious.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. Yeah. I was going to say, like, that joke really falls flat if, 1, they don't know who Joe Rogan is, but 2, they don't know what Rogaine is.
So she was looking at a picture of Joe Rogan. She's like, "Oh, Fear Factor, I know that."
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that was it for my home game stuff. I didn't have any kind of game progress. I didn't look at pull requests. I was just trying. Like I said, I think I personally have been procrastinating SSL, knowing it's going to be like it was an elephant in the room, trying to work on literally anything else. But I think I just need to. It's like cranking it out, really doing it. It's like finally studying for your A-push exam. You know, you just got to do it at a certain point.
I don't know what you're talking about. I never had to study for my A-push exam.
Yeah, I did.
Roll into class and they'll be like, "It's an exam today." I'll be like, "Ah, cool.
Yeah.
Let's take this thing out back, put it to rest."
Yeah. That's it I had for home games. I have nothing else.
Right on. I don't think I have anything else either.
Amazing. Is it time for Song of the Week?
It is time for Song of the Week.
Your Song of the Week is Good Day, Bad Day by Elohim?
I don't actually know how to pronounce their name, but yes.
Truth be told, I was fucking with the camera when this song was on, so I didn't really like get a good listen. But from the surface level listen I did have, it seemed like maybe surface level listen was all I needed. Am I wrong?
Pretty much.
It didn't seem super like particularly deep in the words, which I don't need. I'm just saying, you know, this is kind of just what it is. I don't know. It was fine. It was like a little bouncy.
Yeah.
A little happy.
Yeah, I mean it's I think of it more as like a pretty chill song, right? Because the chorus to it is, "You had a good day, tomorrow's a new day. You had a bad day, tomorrow's a new day."
It's kind of like Daniel Powder had the "You had a bad day."
Yeah.
But kind of a more like colorful version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite part of this one is actually when the second part, the verse of the chorus, where they're like, "You had a good day, we'll celebrate. You had a bad day, tomorrow's a new day." And I kind of like that because it's like, "Oh, you had a good day? Like, you know,
Yeah.
be happy about that. Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Tomorrow might not be good. The next day might be better. Or at least there'll be a new day." But also there's like a kind of a reassurance that no matter how today is, tomorrow is pretty,
a new day.
Yeah. It's like, it's pretty unrelated.
Is it though?
Somewhat, yeah.
I feel like on some level, if you had a really terrible day today, you might have a terrible day tomorrow.
Or you'll have like a moderately bad day tomorrow.
I guess. I mean, okay, so like,
I don't know the last time I had a horrific day and then I woke up the next morning and had an equally horrific day. Like, that would be brutal. I've had like a terrible day. The next day I had like a not good day.
yeah.
And then the next day I had like a day. And the next day I had like an okay day.
Have you ever had like a truly amazing day that was followed up by another amazing day?
No.
Yeah, I don't know if I have either. I think I really enjoyed like going to Disneyland for vacation last year, because it was like, we're there, first day, great, second day, even better, we did stuff. You know, you kind of have that kind of progression.
Yeah.
but it's more memorable, I think, than having 2 horrible days. You'd probably want to block that out.
Yeah, I can't think of the last time I didn't like fart in a second grade classroom or anything, and then the next day like do the same thing or something.
It'd be really bad if you farted in a second grade classroom as you right now. We were talking about that in the pre-show, so for some context, we're talking about farting in second grade.
Yeah. I don't know. To me, it is just kind of a nice reminder of like, you know what, today might be like terrible. You might not enjoy any part of today, but tomorrow's going to be a new day, and maybe something okay will happen. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of the same. The gist maybe of my song of the week, which was "Time Will Tell" by Dolla.
Yeah.
Dolla has a new album out, and I think it's really great. There are 25 songs, which are too many.
25 songs?
So 3 to 5 of them are less than a minute long sketches. So I don't really consider them songs. Mm-hmm. And every song except 2 of them are less than 3 minutes long. I think we've entered the era where songs no longer have a third verse. It's a hook and 2 verses. Attention spans are so short now.
I mean, maybe.
We've actually made songs shorter.
I don't know. Most of my songs are like 4 minutes long.
Well, this song I think is 2.5. Every other song on this album is like 2.5. There's this whole wave of new rappers that have songs that are like a minute long, a minute 30, and it is become very popular, and so it's just a thing now where songs are shorter.
What's up with hip hop having sketches in their albums now? Because this is like the 3rd or 4th album you've told me about that has sketches in it.
It's been a thing. I mean, even like Notorious B.I.G. was like notorious for having sketches in his album that people wanted to skip. Like Benny the Butcher last week had sketches inside of the songs. They weren't separate tracks. Mm-hmm. I think that's my pet peeve. Like Speed Bullet to Heaven by Kid Cudi. Right? Already a kind of acquired taste, I would say, the music in that. But because I love that album, but there are songs in it that have, I was about to say hard-coded, like embedded skits of Beavis and Butthead, as done by Mike Judge, the creator of Beavis and Butthead. Like he does the voices and stuff. So it's just like Beavis and Butthead talking about doing shrooms, and that's in the song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hate that shit. Same thing as Benny the Butcher last week. I thought the skits were really corny. There are separate sketches, so I think it's more okay. You can skip them and not have to like skip a song. Mm-hmm. Anyway, my song was "Time Will Tell." Tell me what you think about it.
I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
This is one of those songs of the week for me where I think it's okay. I probably won't add it to my playlist, and you will one day mention it to me again, and I'll listen to it. I'm like, I kind of know this song from somewhere. That's kind of how I feel about this one. Last week's I really liked. That one's on my playlist. This one I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah, I guess so. So this album, to me, is full of songs that belong on the radio. Mm-hmm. Like they're made with that certain type of thing in mind. They're just made to be catchy and kind of simple, laid back, and whatever. Really. So I was conflicted because there's 2 songs on this album. One of them is called Dr. Sebi, Dr. S-E-B-I, and the song after is called Powder Blue. Mm-hmm. The transition from Dr. Sebi to Powder Blue, when I first heard it with the headphones on, like really intently listening, I almost shit myself. I was so hyped about this transition because the song is going. I'm not going to spoil what it is, mm-hmm. but it's amazing. And then the song comes to an end, and then this song starts, and you never even notice there was a difference, and it's just like fucking crazy. It's so good.
I love when albums do that.
Yeah. I wanted to make that my song of the week, but I was conflicted because 1, it's 2 songs. Mm-hmm. I would say it's my song moment of the week. But another thing is on the second song, Powder Blue, there's a Gunna verse, and I love Gunna. I truly love Gunna. But I thought his verse was boring as shit, so I couldn't listen to it. I couldn't love it the way I whatever. So Time Will Tell is more of a simple, like, mm-hmm. It's kind of one of those.
One of the things I liked about the song, though, was how there's like a transition halfway through this song, and I kind of liked it. I normally don't like transitions, but I really like this one.
There's like a different beat for a little bit.
Yeah, they flip the beat almost,
Yeah.
and he changes the pace that is rapping at, and I was like, ooh, I actually like the second beat more than I like the first beat. Also, the intro to this song, I really liked the like instrumental part.
Yeah.
Before like anything else happened.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I wasn't sure what to expect from you about this song, because to me it's kind of just, it's pop music, you know, and I like it a lot, but it doesn't seem like your kind of thing. But you know, at least you got something out of it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm starting to learn how to understand hip hop and like pick out things that I'm gonna like about, or like that I like about it.
Yeah.
Whereas before I'd just be like, I don't know, this is just crazy music. This is just crazy compared to what I listen to. Now I'm like, oh, okay, like I feel the transition between like how he's rapping, the pace is rapping, like the beat flipped, like all that stuff I notice.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah, one day you'll be more of a fan than me. You know, you'll show up wearing all the Young Thug merch.
Yeah, my McDonald's burger.
Yeah, your McDonald's Travis Scott merch.
Yeah.
And your what else? What's like? I guess Travis Scott is the only thing that comes to mind, is like really ridiculous
My golf
merchandise.
wang.
I want to see you wear a Golf Wang t-shirt.
My brother owns a golf wing jacket.
Nice. I have a Camp Flognaw jacket. It's their music festival.
What a name.
Flognaw because it's Golf Wang backwards.
And golf wing because his Wolfgang.
Wolfgang, yeah.
So this is just getting too complicated for me.
Yeah. But Flognaw.
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be real with you. I am tired AF.
Oh, I
I'm
could
like
tell.
90% with it.
I could tell. Yeah, it's almost midnight. It's 11:45. This is the latest we've ever recorded because we had dinner first, so we might seem a little low energy today.
Yeah. It was a good dinner, though.
Yeah, it was.
I don't know. I thought it was okay. Also, last week, I realized that I was like, oh, I'm going to just do like a heavy metal or a rap song. And then literally, as I was driving when you left, I was like, wait, that's not... Song of the week is like the song I listen to the most of the week. It's not
necessarily.
Like, it's just a sick song that I know.
See, okay, this is a conflict I've had where I was like, I've had weeks where it was just rough to pick one because there was nothing I listened to that week that was really great. So in my head, I would be like, well, I need to naturally hear the song, and I really love Oh My This Side, so I'm gonna keep hitting shuffle till I stumble upon it.
Okay,
that's my song of the week.
That is. Did you actually just hit shuffle until you got it?
I've done this before, but I never actually made them my song of the week. I always kind of have another one at the end.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I don't know. Normally, it's just like something happened, or I just like randomly caught onto a song I've liked for a long time, and it's like, ooh, I'm really feeling this one. Yeah. I was gonna pick. It's funny you mentioned the transition because there's two songs on a Parkway Drive album called Wild Eyes, and the other one's Dark Days. And they literally, they're so just in your face aggressive, and both of them, when they play like right next to each other, it's like a story being told between the two of them.
Nice.
Yeah,
it's cool. Yeah, that's kind of a case for listening to albums front to back. I think, like we mentioned last week, like you don't really listen to albums fully.
No, I actually didn't realize that they do that. I just was looking through their list, and I ended up playing them in the right order and being like,
yeah,
whew.
Yeah.
This was years ago, though. I have not. It's not like I am a regular listener of Parkway Drive anymore.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. Listening to albums front to back is cool. And the Ty Dolla Sign album is definitely one of those. So
25 songs.
It's okay. People complain about it just in terms of track length. The album is 59 minutes long. It's not that long.
I have no idea how to compare that to other albums, though.
It is 20 songs out of the 25 tracks, and the 20 songs, except for 2, are all less than 3 minutes long. It's not that long, you know?
I see.
Yeah. That's about it for me. I have nothing else. You should.
I have nothing else. Also,
you gotta do some jumping jacks before you drive.
Yeah,
home.
I was gonna ask if I can do some push-ups on your floor.
Yeah, you can do whatever.
Hell yeah, brother! All right. Go out and play with your dog. Yeah, man, she was howling out there at literally everything, but she suddenly stopped. Maybe she also fell asleep.
I don't know. Maybe she did.
Maybe she found a turtle to play with.
That was one time.
Yeah. Do you have anything else?
I have nothing else.
Right on. Thanks everyone for listening. As always, our music was done by our friend Tynan or at Nitan on Bandcamp. You can catch us on Twitter at homegames.io or on our website at homegames.io. And we will see you
next week. We're going to talk about, are we doing Unity next week?
I hope so. Yeah.
We were going to talk about Unity this week. It's kind of why we didn't have a whole lot of stuff to update, but we will probably end up doing that next week or at some point. But we're still talking about Unity at some point.
Yes, we will be talking about Unity either next week or the week after. The person who was going to talk about Unity needed to cancel this week, but does have their own mic, so they'll probably record remotely, and we'll call them in.
I love someone with a microphone, someone who values crisp vocals, you know?
I think they got the microphone because I was like, hey, do you need a microphone? Because I can lend you my Yeti mic, or you can do it in person with us. It's like kind of up to you.
Yeah.
And they were like, I'll get my own mic. And I said, okay.
The Yeti mic is big trash, though.
It's better than my other mic.
Yeah, but it's not like this.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, I didn't have the...
I'm not trying to talk
I'm going to defend the Yeti mic because it served me well over the years.
Yeah.
The years. We've done this for about a year now.
The 6 months before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The previous, 8 months.
Well, see, that was awkward because you already did the whole outro, so you have nothing else to say except bye.
No, I can do one more thing.
Yeah?
Yeah. Goodbye.
Bye.